everybody, and welcome back to episode number 2 of Lost in Conversation.
Well, do you want to, or you want to record the intro now?
What was the intro last time?
It's my radio voice. Hello, welcome to the first episode.
Cliff Bar going on over here. My motor functions are slowly slipping away. I don't know what's happening. What's he doing all the way here?
Hello, welcome to episode number 2 of Lost in Conversation, the podcast. I am Garrett, and I'm with co-host Nolan.
Hello.
Today, we are going to be talking about one of the greatest racing movies of all time. It is Talladega Nights, starring Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly.
Yeah, I think this is another movie that it's going to be a really, really strong start to the podcast, series 2 of 100. And, I'd say this movie, out of the gate, we're going to get the dumpling rating into it. Ready? I'm thinking at least 9.5 dumplings.
At least 9.5. I would almost give it a 10, but there are a few things that we need to discuss about the movie.
A couple of drawbacks, but really not that many.
One of the drawbacks is that it is not longer.
Exactly.
What happened on all the races that Ricky became, who he became.
Yeah,
we don't get to see a lot of that.
I will also like to say that I do appreciate how much race time they did give to the movie, but, well, I mean...
Not enough, probably.
I would like to see more, personally.
Mm-hmm.
But
what makes Ricky such a good racer? But
yeah, I think they did a really good job for, a common viewer that doesn't understand exactly what they're doing in racing. Garrett just did the what am I supposed to do with my hands scene and just kind of slowly raised his hands up.
Put my hands up here. Cheeky. I don't know what to do. But yeah, no, I think though we get to see a lot of the race time. What about before Jean Girard becomes into the picture?
Mm-hmm.
Why does Ricky's wife, flash him in the race? Is it the first time he won? Is it the 10th? We don't know. We don't get to see a lot of that. Their kids that they have. It almost shows that Ricky must have been a racer for what? At least
that is true.
10 years.
How old were those kids?
They had to be.
Well, they were literate.
They were
cognitive. Mm-hmm. They seemed to understand and also were able to perform
I'd say at
basic
least 8.
motor complex tasks.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say at least 8, maybe 10.
Yeah. So
10 years of racing.
We really missed a lot.
Just kind of swept under the carpet there. I mean,
it's crazy how none of them aged during that period of time.
That is true. I bet dermatologists hate them.
Oh, I hate them.
Got that one trick. Speaking of quirky tricks, we're looking for sponsors still.
We are looking for sponsors.
Any companies out there, quite literally, as long as you don't have some messed up thing going on, we'd love to partner with you.
Yeah, I know. Adpocalypse can happen, and
shameless plug. 2 minutes. Beginning of the podcast, end of the podcast.
We will literally say anything you want.
Exactly. Send us a script, and if it's not a messed up company, we'll say the script.
We will definitely say it.
I love to eat Aunt Jemima's maple syrup.
Number 1 mobile MMORPG.
The largest MMO on the App Store. Is it true? I don't know.
But
will
we can tell
say
you.
It?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, probably.
We'll be honest. We are sellouts. And
podcast number 2. We sold out.
That's what episode 3 is going to be about, guys. After we
podcast
give you
3, us apologizing. We're so sorry.
Raid Shadow Legends plug in the history of ever.
Podcast 3 is literally just 20 minutes. It's just us talking about
the greatest MMO RPG that is on mobile devices.
My personal favorite MMO on the App Store. And use code Lost in Conversation for 20,000 free gems upon sign up.
No, Nolan has been playing that game in every single day. Like, it is his favorite.
It's really hard to get
MMO
me out of
RPG.
to record the podcast anymore because I'm just always gaming on my mobile gaming iPad that I play on.
Call of who? No, more like the greatest MMO
War games, RPG. More like the greatest MMO RPG of all time on the
a
App
mobile
Store.
device.
Exactly.
With console-like graphics. You heard it here first. Console-like graphics.
Exactly.
Stand aside, Xbox One. Is it an X again? I don't
I
know.
think they're back to it's like the XS
It's
or
like
something.
iPhones
As
now.
they're just
Yeah, it's an
everybody's
iPhone.
confused.
Yeah, I don't know. The
Everybody's
new
confused.
Xbox and the PS5. At least they got numbers.
The
It's easy
the
counting.
PS5 they do just kind of flick the number up,
Yeah,
but
like innovation.
I am Xbox born and raised, so
Yeah,
I'm
so
gonna
am I.
definitely have to bash PlayStation or whatever at the
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
No, if you didn't like some of you guys didn't play Modern Warfare 2 on your Xbox 360s, and it shows.
And it shows. You did not hang out in those
Those beautiful
chats.
lobbies.
Gosh, I love those. It's just like you dome somebody and they're like, "What? You're probably like 12 years old, sitting in your living room, and your mom's yelling at you, and you're like,
How'd they know?
Dad."
How'd they know? And yeah, that was time. The first Call of Duty I actually got was Black Ops on the
Really?
PS3. I had a PlayStation first,
Wow.
and when I got to middle school, the
You
year
grew
or two
there?
after, everyone had an Xbox, and I was like,
Ah,
huh.
there it is.
It was only family that had PlayStations, and I was like, friends over family. So I got an Xbox for
Crippled.
Chrome or something like that, and
That
wow,
was my dad. He told me, he said his biggest mistake behind me was getting me an Xbox. And I was like,
I'm sure he's really proud of
he
that.
like snuck that little diss in there. He was like, behind you, it's buying an Xbox. I was like, oh, wait, what? And then he was like, yeah,
Like, you would have been cool if you didn't get an Xbox.
probably would have been more athletic or whatever. And I was like,
But the craziest thing is, now all these kids are like cool because they play Fortnite.
yeah, we were just, man, we were born at the wrong time.
If we were literally like a couple years younger, we'd be so damn cool.
I love those memes where it's like, I was born at the wrong time. I wish I was in the 50s, because like it's like this is what real love is, and it's
Racist.
like, don't know about that one, Chief.
There's some other stuff that went down, man. That
Yeah, but the back to the important part, the Modern Warfare 2.
Oh
That
yeah.
was the pinnacle.
That was it.
Pinnacle.
Black Ops 2, Nuketown.
Actually, my first game that I got that was quasi FPS was Halo Wars. It was like a RPG. I think. No, it was a tactical. What's it called?
It was like a turn-based game.
Yeah, it's literally like you choose a squad, they go there, and then it's like, oh, the Covenant decided to go left. It's basically XCOM, but like Halo.
It's Risk, but on a computer.
Yeah, I did not fancy it. It was like, I was so bummed because I was like so hyped. I was like, yes, finally, I got a Halo, dude. This is gonna be sick. And then I popped the disc in, and then I was like, what? Say psych right now. Brought that biddy back to GameStop like the next day. Then I was like, listen here, Steve, or whoever the guy that was working the desk.
Probably Steve.
And I was like, you sold me Halo, and I can't even frickin' shoot. How dare you?
That is
almost
sacrilegious.
My mom had no clue why I was so mad. She was like, I'm sorry. He's like this. He's medicated. And I'm like,
yeah.
And then swapped it out for Halo 3. Played about 3,000 hours of that. That was fun. I unlocked every single piece of armor that was in the game except for the flaming, the flaming Bungie helmet or something.
Why? What would you have to do for that?
Work for Bungie.
Work for Bungie? Well, why didn't you?
I think it was I either had to work for Bungie or you had to show up.
Or your uncle had to be there.
No, you had to play the game on Bungie Day, like the year it released. But I just hopped in on the train too late, so I was like.
So these other people had this cool helmet.
Yeah, the other kids had the cool helmet, but I had all the other helmets
that they didn't have.
Now,
was the achievement from Halo was you had to shoot 3 people collateral?
Yeah.
What was that? The trifecta?
Yeah, that was from Halo 3. That was to unlock the, I don't know what it's called, but it was like a scout helmet, I think, or something. But like, I remember I was so frustrated because my friend Hunter, he
the same Hunter that we know?
Different Hunter. This was a Wisconsin Hunter.
Oh.
He unlocked the helmet before I did, and he was like, dude, it was so lucky. It took me so long. He was like, I just got a Spartan laser tri-piece on the I don't remember what map, but he's like, I just shot down the middle and I was so lucky. And I was like, oh man, that's so hard. And I spent like probably the next week, just being like just actually depressed because I was like, I can't get it to line up. And then I was like, I'm just gonna go play some campaign, cool off a little bit. And then I just like shot down a helicopter or something, or whatever like the Covenant ships were with the turret,
Mm-hmm.
and it counted the turret bullet as a single bullet that took out the whole plane. So it was like achievement unlocked, and I was like, oh my god.
So you kind of cheated your way to.
No,
Yeah.
I in my depressed state
That's
found a
what
new
you
way.
needed. But so basically, you told me is you didn't get it how the game intended for you to get it, and you kind of got a cheesy way. So your achievement's almost mute.
Moot?
Mute.
Mute?
As in like null. It doesn't really count.
So mute?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Moot.
Moot. I think I don't know what's going on.
But then
with you.
also there were what was the other helmet that I really liked? It was like the Habanapase armor or something. You had to like go around to like different parts of all like the maps and like click on these skulls.
Uh-huh.
It was pretty cool. But it was basically just a little scheme that they ran so you had to buy the DLCs.
Oof.
But
This is very smart.
it was really fun unlocking all like the helmets.
After buying all the DLCs as well.
Well, no, because it was like little third grade me
Buying all the DLCs.
buying all the DLCs, but then also it was like I had to watch 2008 YouTube videos where it's like, hello everybody, today's YouTube video I'm gonna show you where the Halo 3 skulls are, and I'm like in the 280p trying to be like, where is it?
Yeah.
And that was with my limited computer time because I was also limited on the computer time as a kid.
But was it on computer or was it on 360?
It was on 360, but to figure out where they were,
Oh.
computer time. Did you have those
Wow.
internet safety courses growing up?
No.
What?
Yeah, I have a normal family.
No, it was like a school run thing.
Oh, a school thing?
Yeah.
What was the safety thing on?
There was like different predators on the internet. And there was like the Follow You Fionas, which is like literally just like stalkers. There was the I don't remember the other guys, but Follow You Fiona kind of stuck in my mind.
Huh. No, I didn't have that. Growing up, I did have like typing games. that I
Oh
learned to
yeah, we
type.
did that. Type school.
Yeah, those ones on.
Did you
like,
learn cursive?
Yeah, I did learn, but I actually learned cursive when I was in first grade, and then the other kids learned it in third grade, and I felt better than them.
Yeah, my school taught that to kindergartners, but it's not a
Well,
good
I guess
thing.
screw you too.
But now I can't write for shit because I never developed proper.
Nolan's handwriting is actually one of the worst.
I'm studying to become a
handwritings.
doctor, and one of the prereqs is illegible handwriting.
Our econ teacher, when we were seniors in high school, told Nolan that if he does not fix his handwriting, he will lose job opportunities over it. That is how bad his handwriting is. He signs his name in capital letters, and it looks like a 2-year-old wrote it. Because I think he misspells his name.
Hey.
On another note, let's get back to Talladega Nights.
Oh yeah.
Because we didn't get to see nearly 10 years of Ricky's career, I almost want to say that we didn't get to see more of Jean Girard's character. We get to see all this background on Ricky, where he came from. His dad walked out on him when he was a baby. Only got to see him every once a decade. But his dad did leave him with one piece of advice.
Another quote from the podcast
Mm-hmm.
that you can pull.
It is the famous quote of Reese Bobby: "If you ain't first, you're last."
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that because you could be second, you could be third, you could be second to last.
But think about it. If you aren't first, you're last.
Now that takes into perspective. Where is your perspective coming from on the idea of competitiveness? Do you still win if you're second place?
Well, technically, if you're second, you were the
first loser.
First to lose.
But you still do get up on that podium. Now, would be fourth be the first loser? When you think about it, if they don't make the podium.
Fourth would be the first loser
Mm-hmm.
at podiums.
Yeah. So really, there's different firsts.
That's interesting.
Because in who's to say? The first loser isn't being first.
That is true, because if you're not first, you're last.
So maybe that is still true. If you're not first, you're last.
Well, I'm trying to think of a situation where if you aren't first, you're actually last.
In a race of two people.
There it is.
So Reese was talking almost, I think, about love.
That is
Between a man and a
deep.
woman. If you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah.
Think about that. It's a give and take.
Is your phone ringing?
It's not my phone. It was Nolan's phone that was in his hand. So I think actually Reese touches on a deeper point there about, finding love, because when Ricky's wife leaves him, he really is last. He feels like he's had everything taken away from him, including his best friend and family.
Imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine like one day
leaving home for an hour.
Well, no, he didn't leave home for an hour.
He said I was gone for an hour.
No, he lost the race. Oh, no, it was because he went to the hospital.
Mm-hmm. But the thing with Cal and Ricky's wife, I can't remember her name for some reason right now, is after Ricky comes back and he's racing and he says, I'm going so fast, where am I going? And he's, oh, are those the other cars? It turns out he's going 30 miles per hour on the track. That's when Cal starts going over.
Do you like, what would you say is your preferred point in racing? Do you like the corners or the straights?
I think the corners really show what kind of racer they are.
No,
how
I meant
aggressive.
personally.
Oh, personally?
Yeah.
If I'm racing?
Yeah.
I like the straightaways because I get to feel the speed and the vibrations running through me.
I like corners.
You like the corners? Why is that? Tell me about
Because it's beautiful, honestly. I mean, straights are also really cool to see. Get to see the full heart and soul of a team that built a car.
Mm-hmm.
Let loose.
At least on the straightaways, there's less likelihood of you just dying and crashing instantly.
Well, no, you get the higher speeds.
As long as your car doesn't break, I feel like you're safe.
Have you seen that? I mean, there's tons of clips of it, but in like Formula One, the tires just like rupturing because they're going so fast.
There was actually this one time back in the day in Le Mans where Team Jaguar hit the Mercedes car that was in front of them, and because of it, it picked up the Mercedes.
Oh, are you
Le Mans
talking
car
about the
when the Mercedes car
Mercedes incident
then went into the crowd and killing people?
How many people was it?
83 people, but because Jaguar hit the car.
Right.
If Jaguar didn't hit the car, the Mercedes car,
well, I mean,
those
it
people would have
wasn't.
survived.
I'm fairly certain the Mercedes was going to pit, so probably there was a mechanical issue with the Mercedes already.
There may not have been. It may have been a fuel thing.
Well, I mean, if they were to take a look at the car, maybe after it went through 83 women and children, they could discover that the car disintegrated because it was also made of magnesium. Was it magnesium?
Jamie, would you like to pull that up? Thank you.
We'll get our assistant to figure out the build of the car here. Oh, wait. We're also looking for someone to be our assistant for the podcast that has to work pro bono. We'd pretty much just be getting you exposure.
It really is a great internship.
Great opportunity to learn a lot about podcasts, learn a lot about teamwork.
Mm-hmm. How you get guests.
Exactly. You will also have to help with finding sponsors.
Yes.
Because our team right now kind of lacking on sponsors.
Which is totally, fine. We'd love doing this out of the greatness of our hearts. But if there is a certain MMORPG on mobile devices that wants to sponsor us,
hit us up,
we will definitely take advantage of that. Not really advantage, but the opportunity more so. And then maybe our intern, whose name has to be Jamie, will get some pay. Not in paper, but
not promising anything.
Possibly.
But if you're looking for favors like that aren't monetary,
you catch our drift.
we are two decent looking kids.
wouldn't say kids.
Young adults. Jinx, you owe me a high five.
Nice crisp high five.
Yes, sir.
So getting back into the third act when the final race, the
Iconic scenes.
Talladega,
The Talladega Night.
happens with Jean Girard against Ricky Bobby are really not our underdog in this story. Begin the race. Uh, how do you feel like going into that? Do you feel hope? Do you feel nervous
I felt anxious for Ricky.
for Ricky?
You know, coming off of such a
Mm.
gnarly accident. He's trying to push back. He was in a similar pickle we find ourselves in. His sponsors pulled out on him, and he was scrambling.
And it was those close to him, his team, people that were pro bono, helping him out. And
That really, came together as a family, and they saw him run across the finish line.
mhm.
You know,
Now, I mean, let's talk about that ending right there. Two people crashing, looking like the end of their race, maybe their career. They can walk out of it.
The whole field crashed
The whole field.
because they told him to take out Ricky.
But it's almost a callback to The Karate Kid, another great film about martial arts. We may even talk about that one day.
If that's a thing you guys want to see, feel free
But
to.
in Karate Kid, we see sweep the leg. Let's take out Danielson, and we see how that almost is problematic in karma because he can't do it, and that actually ends up being the reason why Danielson wins the tournament in the end. Almost that sweep the leg. Similar, we see them trying to take out Ricky, almost sweeping him in his leg, his wheel. Wow.
Try to pit maneuver him.
Mm-hmm. Now the race and how that turns out too. We have our two protagonists and antagonists battling it out on foot. Would you have liked to seen that on foot race be counted and Ricky have won that instead of Cal?
Well, I mean, they did do a dangerous thing. Well, there was no other actually, because pretty much all the cars were out, right?
Mhm.
They all crashed. So running on a racetrack during a race, definitely feel like it qualifies for disqualification because it's a very dangerous thing. If you're going top speed in a car like 200 plus miles an hour, stopping short distances doesn't really happen all that well.
Unless they crash.
Unless they crash. Which case it's dangerous for also the driver. So, I mean.
So you think that the NASCAR made the right choice by disqualifying Jean Girard and
I feel
Ricky?
like, well, what year is that movie released in? 2011 or something?
I think it was before 2011, but let's get Jamie on that.
Hey Siri, what year was Talladega Nights released?
The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
2006, August 4th.
2006. Wow.
So that would be definitely pre-Instagram. That would be Facebook time.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I feel because at the end of the day, racing is just to entertain.
Mm-hmm.
So
we all like the crashes and
the crashes are exciting. The drama's cool, but seeing the artistry of the cars,
the
just
pure adrenaline,
boom,
the vibrations,
just running through your body.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
How do you feel about the end of Shake and Bake?
When they changed their names to
How do you feel about
Diablo and the Magic Man.
Jinx, you owe me a crisp high five. So how do you feel about that? Do you think it's the right choice for them to end Shake and Bake? End that era?
I mean, it's always great in life to turn the page, to move on and discover something new. Keep it exciting, Spice it up. You can only make chicken noodle soup so many ways, Try a different type of soup. Try a different type of soup.
Broil it.
Broil it?
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna broil?
The soup.
Why would you broil a soup? You can broil French onion. You're not even French. You're not broiling the French onion. You're broiling the cheese.
Put some cheese in the chicken noodle soup.
This is why I push you. That is smart.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
What about that? You ever thought about that?
Actually, would that be good? I mean, there's only one way to find out.
What kind of cheese you talking about, though? You know?
Gouda.
Gouda. Chicken noodle.
Gouda with chicken sounds great.
Mm.
A little,
We'll get back to you on the next
earthy.
episode about that.
little smokiness.
Mm-hmm.
A little funky.
Do you think the ending of Talladega Nights ends well on a note that the family's really getting back together? Do
Yeah.
you think Reese can actually change, though?
Reese?
Reese Bobby? Ricky's
Well,
dad?
I mean, everybody can change. There's opportunity for
We
people
saw literally
to...
maybe 15 minutes before that Reese not being able to change and
that
walking
is
out on Ricky
true.
again.
He got tossed out of the Applebee's
It was literally the day before.
day before the race.
So, how do you feel about that? You think he really can?
I mean, people are amazing things. Like, to be able to do what everybody does, like, all the time, it's pretty cool. And I feel like Reese
Bobby, yeah.
Reese is he probably got some type of thing going on in his life that's trying to push its way out, and
Some kind of demons, you say?
yeah,
Personal demons?
yeah, sure, some personal demons that are.
Well, that's I think we all have some kind of personal demons, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing.
All
You
of us
just
that we
gotta,
hide.
like SpongeBob said, gotta live like Larry.
Live like Larry, you know. If
Gotta
you're
live
not
like
living
Larry.
like Larry, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, truly, I think that is one of the deepest quotes anyone has ever said.
Gotta live like Larry,
Live like Larry.
or if you're not first, you're last.
Live like Larry. Because I think there are similarities to living like Larry, and if you're not first, you're last. Because on one hand, you always got to have that competitive side. You want to be first. But to live like Larry, you always got to be looking at goals you're setting. You know, Larry himself is a gym rat. You know, he's always looking for goals. He's self-made.
Larry is a lifeguard.
He's a
He
lifeguard,
needs
but
to take his job and his physique extremely seriously.
So he has that first mentality. He has that Mamba mentality, some would say. And I think Larry embodies that. And I think in some ways Ricky embodies that too. You know, he doesn't give up.
I think hard work is a great task, or not task, but trait to have. And, it's definitely handy for people that are trying to get big things done,
Yeah.
Good work ethic. Helps
Yes.
keep the ball rolling.
Yeah. On another note, as we're at about the midway-ish point of our podcast, maybe a little bit further than midway, how is Nolan's food looking like on the route?
I don't know.
I really couldn't say how long we've been talking. Could be 5 minutes. Could be 2 hours.
It's been 2 days. They're coming up the trail.
The food is about
24 minutes away.
It is about 10 minutes away. Are they able to get through the gate? We are in a gated studio right now. It is very secure.
Christina S. She crashed.
Well, that's not very good.
She's not on the road. She's like genuinely 10 feet off.
That sounds about right. DoorDash, am I right? We are not sponsored by DoorDash, but we are more than happy to take sponsorship from DoorDash.
Shameless
I'll talk about that. You know, a lot of people are thinking, oh, I'll just DoorDash all my food because of the coronavirus, you know? I won't have to go out. Yeah, that's true, but last night actually, I was trying to get some DoorDash for dinner. It wasn't too late, maybe 10, you know, we're in a very heavily populated area, and I had to wait roughly an hour and a half until my food decided to change from how long it's going to be here for me to contact support for an ETA. I went onto their support and looked how long it would have to be to get through with a person. It said an hour and 17 minutes.
to talk to a rat.
To talk to a person.
Dang.
To see if I could cancel my order and get a full refund. So my order is what, like $10, you know? It's like, well, am I going to sit on the phone till like 2 in the morning now to talk with someone from not the US and about my order, and all they're going to say is, well, we can give you credit onto your account, and it's just not worth it. So I had to cancel it. I got $4 back.
Wow.
What the tip would have been, and no Dasher ever even connected to my order to say that they're on the way.
So wait, you paid
I had
for?
to pay for food and I just never got it
Wow.
because I would have had to sit on the phone for at least 2 hours.
Did you order with a credit card?
Yeah.
I'm sure your credit card company could figure it out for you.
But I think the deeper issue is, right now in this time of
This
like
troubled time
troubled
of
times,
people being forced
like
into isolation. This is pre-Manhattan shutting down entirely for isolation. That's just a prediction from the podcast. Because New York's cases was 1,700 this morning all of a sudden, or in Manhattan specifically.
But it's really interesting. We are kind of looking like we're gonna have the division pretty soon.
Which I personally
am a part
pretty
of.
psyched up for.
I'd be pretty psyched up if we were doing like the division missions because I think it's a really underrated game. Did you ever play the original Division?
I played the second one.
You only played the second. So I played the original Division from day one. And I watched. I think it was Eric's Gaming. I don't know if he's still around now, but he would release videos every single day about the new meta of the game. So it was always changing. And I think some things that the game had wrong with it is it took too long to release
New content.
new content. People would go through the content super fast.
Yeah.
It would get up to the main level, and basically we would have nothing to do but go to the dark zone and kill people with better gear, and that was the only really way to get that end game loot. We didn't have the raids in the beginning until about the game started to die off, and then that's when all this new content came out. And we got content for free. People really forget it, but the Division was one of those people that really spearheaded free content. In this day of age of EA, where you have to pay for the game
Everything.
itself.
Would you like to have oxygen for your character? You're like, what?
Yes, that's $20.
And then they're like, well, you died. What?
So I think the Division was really underrated, and why it got so popular when the second one came out. Unfortunately, I think the gaming world has changed since the original Division came out, and there's less of a demand for games like the Division 2, where there's more demand for like the newly released Warzone by Call of Duty Modern Warfare. People like that battle royale. They want to squad up with their team of 4 or 5, or 3. I think Warzone is. I know Fortnite's 4, 1 to 4, and I think people are going to that battle royale. Nowadays.
That's the new game right now. Battle royale is the game.
And I think people are just trying to find new, little spins on it every single time. And I'd love to talk about actually how this is not just in gaming, but also in Japanese television. But we'll save that for another episode.
What?
The isekai genre of anime actually is almost a ironic genre now. It's the isekai genre is isekai, yeah.
What does that mean?
So that means in Japanese, this genre is somewhat like let's say you're the chosen one, but you're from this planet, and then because you die or some multiverse thing, you get transferred to this magical world or this sci-fi world, and you're basically the chosen one there.
Huh.
And it's a really really popular genre, and
it's like a feel good genre type thing.
Yeah, it's like you've been watching a little bit of High School DxD recently, right? Been dabbling
in what?
In a High School DxD, the series.
Is that the name of the show?
That is a show with the women with great personalities. Yes.
I'd like to neither confirm nor deny these allegations at this time.
That series actually is somewhat of a isekai itself, even though that may not be the main genre for what it's going for. It might be going for fan service with some things, but it is in fact a isekai because the main character is transferred from his normal world and brought into a special world where he's very powerful, and he doesn't know it. Similar to what we see in Lord of the Rings. We have a normal character, someone you wouldn't expect to be a hero.
A hobbit.
And that becomes this great warrior and leader. Though in the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, they're not necessarily transferring from a different world, but a different region. And I think I
actually have never seen the Hobbit.
I know 3 of them.
Rings.
Really, the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit?
Is that a different thing?
So the Hobbit movies have been released actually more recently. Like your food might be here. Kind of curious how much audio we have right now.
Huh?
Kind of curious how much audio we have right now. You know, I feel like we've been talking for quite some time. Like possibly an hour. So, going off of The Lord of the Rings, I think our next few episodes might be tackling the issue of the hero in movies that relates to Kung Fu Panda, the movie that was released in 2008, starring Jack Black. I'd like to thank everyone that came and listened today, and
Thank you so much for helping support our dream of being professional podcasters.
we are looking for sponsors. If you would
Once
like
again,
to reach out,
If we haven't already made it more than clear, this could be your time. That whole time we talked about needing sponsors, that could be your time.
and we also are in need of razors. If there is a certain company that likes to
Not gonna say the name, but maybe a US dollar
company for shaving
shaving club or
of
something.
some kind of club could send us some things that we could talk about. Maybe.
Don't even need to pay us. Maybe just send us
Just
razors
send
and
us
stuff.
like that'd be chill. Cause that's stuff we need, you know, especially in these dire times.
Yeah.
Coronavirus. Hey, Charmin,
Charmin,
hit
you
us up.
looking for some airtime?
We could help you out there. So, well, it's signing off for episode 2, and we'll see you on episode 3.
Ciao.
Ciao.